It's time to stitch the fall signpost on the Automaker's bench pillow. The fall signpost is on page 18. I have my fabrics backed with interfacing. My grass piece that I cut with my ScanNCut also has an iron-on adhesive on the back. I have my batting cut a little bit larger so that I can tack it down and trim it. Out of the embellishment kit, I will be using the blue felt and the wood grain vinyl. Let's start the fall signpost. I've opened my USB and I'm going to open the combined files folder. I have merged my background quilting and my design file together in Embroidery software. However, you don't have to use software. You can just bring in the quilting background and the embroidery file. But remember that these need to be shifted down so that the embroidery file lines up with the outside tack down of the background quilting in order to be in the correct position. I have already done that in software, and so I will just pull up the signpost and hit set. I am still stitching in my 9.5 by 14, so I need to rotate this so that I can save as much stabilizer as I can. So I'm going to choose embroidery, layout, and rotate. I'm going to rotate 90 degrees to the left and then move it all the way down and select OK. And then I like to stitch on this minus plus needle screen. I have my previous block still attached. I have that attached so that I can save stabilizer. I have my strip of muslin, which I am using as stabilizer for this project, coming off the top towards the back of my machine. Now, I don't think I mentioned this last time, but I am using just the gray color thread for the tack down. And that is so that when I trim these, I am going to be able to see that as a guideline. I'm going to do this a little bit different than I normally do, and I'll talk about that when I trim all of my blocks. The first steps will be the placement for the batting. I will place my batting and tack it down and trim it. I'll place my fabric and tack it down and run the background quilting. I have removed the fabric placement stitch when I was working in software. However, you can choose to run that or skip that right at your machine. For my cloud, I, again, do not cut my embellishments, and so this is my full piece that I've used. I just placed it close and tacked down, and then I went ahead and just left it in my hoop since I had the applique that's coming up for the grass. And so I just made sure this was out of the way to finish up this little wind detail, and then went ahead and ran the placement for the grass, and then that way I only had to take out my hoop the one time. It just made it easy to do that since this wasn't going to interfere with the next few steps. However, you can take it out right after you tack that down. You might have a smaller piece if you cut your embellishments according to the directions, and trim that before moving on. Now this is raw edge applique. That's all that will be done to this, and this little side piece will actually be caught in the seam allowance. Now for the little grass piece, I have the steam-a-seam on the back. So I will peel that off, and it is a little bit sticky, so that helps it. When I go to iron it, I will just place it within those placement lines. And this again will go off into the seam allowance, both the side and the bottom. So I want to make sure that this cut edge is right on top of that so it gets covered by the stitch coming up, which is the decorative stitch. So I'm going to iron this or press it so that that sticks. The times that I have not used something like steam-a-seam or heat and bond, I will just use a glue stick or a temporary glue based product, put it on, and then iron it so that it stays while I'm doing the decorative stitch. So now that's ready to go. While that's cooling, I do need to skip a step because the next step is the tack down. I don't need the tack down because I have tacked it down and it has been trimmed. However, if you did not pre-cut with a Cricut or Silhouette or Scan and Cut, you would place your fabric down, tack it down, and trim it. I'll use my down arrow to skip, and now I'm ready to do that top decorative outline. After running the decorative stitch for the little piece of grass, it's time to change to a water-soluble bobbin. There's two little tufts or little fringe pieces that will be on top of this corn stalk. I think it looks like it's supposed to be coming to the end of its life. It's brown. And so in order to make the fringe, you need to change to either a water-soluble bobbin or a very visible bobbin thread, maybe in this case a red or a black, maybe a teal blue, so that we can get rid of that bobbin. I have tried using a visible thread color in another project. It did not work for me. So I think the $8 to buy a water-soluble thread is worth the investment. Kimberbell does their fair share of fringe type techniques, and this always comes in handy. And so I use the Vanish brand. I think it's called Vanish Light. And I have a bobbin that I mark with a Sharpie, H2O, so I know it's a water soluble. I want mark it on both sides, but of course Sharpie will just eventually come off of plastic, and so I have to remark that often. And I always, when I am done, for example with this step, I will take it out before I even put my bobbin in. I will put it back in the little bag, because if this gets worn off and this bobbin is sitting out, it looks just like white thread. And so you want to make sure that you don't use this in place of regular thread in your bobbin. So I'm going to put the bobbin in, and then we are going to stitch those two little pieces. I have taken my water-soluble bobbin out and put my regular bobbin back in so that I can stitch the remaining part of this, these two corn stalks. And you can see that these are big, long stitches that when we dissolve that water-soluble bobbin will flip up and become kind of a loopy fringe to be the top of that corn stalk. All right, so let's finish the next step. After stitching the signpost and the ground, it stitched the placement line for the signs. Now, the piece of wood leather that came with my kit is this piece. Again, I have not cut this to size, but as this was stitching out, I remembered that I had the same vinyl that came with the Sippin' on Sunshine quilt. And so, because I don't cut my embellishments to size, I have this huge piece left over from doing that quilt. So since I have started using this piece, I am just going to use this and put the piece that came with this kit in my stash. I am going to cover all 3 signs, and this grain of the wood vinyl or leather vinyl needs to run lengthwise. Now some of the signs are a little tilted, and so it won't be exactly straight, but it's probably better than putting the grain up and down because signs are made like this. So I'm just going to make sure I'm covering. Now this will have a cover stitch, so I will tack down and I will trim close to that stitching and then run the decorative outline. After finishing the decorative outline, there are just a few more steps. We have some details on the cornstalk, the wording on the sign, and then some leaves and stem details. And then this block is finished. This is a really cute block, and these details from the cornstalk and the fringe that we're going to finish up and the wording on the signs with the vinyl, it's just a really cute block, and it's stitched out really well. Now there are a few jump stitches in the words. I will remove those, and then other than that it's just doing the fringe. So what I'm going to do is, I have a towel underneath. I'm still in my hoop because I'm going to be stitching next to it. So I'm not taking this out of my hoop yet. Of course, if you are just not combining blocks, you would just, it's done and you could take it out. I'm spraying the front, and then I will spray the back. Now, if you used a visible thread color, you would need to try to cut that thread. And I've mentioned that I had tried that before I got any of the water-soluble bobbin and thread, and it didn't work for me. It took me, I was doing a wreath, and it probably was, you know, maybe the size of a nickel, And it took me literally, I'm not kidding, like 30 minutes trying to cut just that bobbin thread so that I would have a loopy fringe to get maybe a quarter of an inch of that little wreath. And so I stopped and I went and bought some water soluble thread and re-stitched that block. So I'm just going to wet it. It's pretty fast dissolving. So once it starts to dissolve, I just have this little tool that has, you know, different ends. I think it came in a set of 4 and it's got different ends from little to bigger to use on all sorts of things. But I use the small kind of pointy one. It's pointy, but it's not sharp. And once that starts to dissolve, I will just kind of rock that little point underneath these fringe pieces. So I go underneath and I just kind of rock it, and you can just see it starts to loosen because that bobbin thread is dissolving, and the bottom of these stitches from the next step that made the stalks is what's holding that on. But you can see it just comes out super easy, and it just gives a little 3D. It's just so fun. I love the fringe, and that just really adds something to these designs, and you'll see how fast that is. Now, if you don't have one of these tools, of course, you could use an awl or a stiletto. You could use a seam ripper if you're careful not to cut the loops. It looks great when it's loopy. If you cut it, it would just be cut off, but it would still be a fringe. So just a toothpick, something to lift that up. And the water soluble, again, dissolves so fast that it's just such a fun detail.